I'm 30. I was born in Van Nuys, California, which is the San Fernando Valley, just north of Hollywood. My father and mother are divorced. My father works for CBS Television. He still works there. He's just had a documentary done on him. He's 38 years in the television industry, but they got a divorce, and my mom and him split up. So I live with my mom in a different neighborhood. You know, so my dad was in Hollywood and in the beach. My mom was in a different area. You know, so a lot of times kids with divorced parents, they're on the streets a lot, and fighting a lot, this kind of stuff. So I started training Jiu-jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-jitsu, and 16 years ago, my first instructor was a Jean-Jacques Machado black belt named David Dunn. I started training with David Dunn, and kept training Jiu-jitsu. I was introduced to Sambo as well. There's a guy named Gokor Chivichin. He's Armenian. He's real famous in the U.S. Invented the highest stand grappling system. He shares a gym with a guy named Judo Jean LaBelle. Judo Jean LaBelle, have you heard of him? He taught Bruce Lee his grappling, and he's a very old guy, And Gokor Judo Jean LaBelle, I saw different techniques from them. I've seen wrestling, and as I trained Jiu-Jitsu, I incorporated some Sambo techniques, some of the stuff I like from Judo. And then I went to the military. Spent 6 years over there.
6 years, well, that's a long time.
Yeah, and trained Jiu-Jitsu the whole time I was in the military. When I was in the military, I went overseas. I went to combat. I actually started I got mats shipped in from Pakistan, and I started the grappling program in Fallujah. If you've heard of the city of Fallujah,
yeah.
It's Fallujah and Al Asad Air Force Base, which is just outside of Fallujah. And from there, I kept training, and when I got out, I kept training, and moved from. I got out and moved back to Studio City in Hollywood, and I was living in Hollywood. Continued to train Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and MMA, and then I was a personal trainer for a while, and then I went and actually. One of my clients was really, really rich. And I wondered why. He had diamonds on his teeth, and one guy was, this guy Rick Ross, the rapper, Rick Ross. He was his manager. He's one of my clients, and lots of not lots, but a few actresses and stuff from Bold and Beautiful, from different parts of television, And one guy was really rich. He was really rich, and I was like, wow. He let me. I wanted to go get a burger one day. He's like, here, take my Range Rover, And he just. I was like, man, I never really asked too much, And I was like, what is it that you do? Why do you make so much money? He said, show up tomorrow in this suit, 5 a.m. And I was like, what? Yeah. I was like, what does this mean? He had some kind of an accent, but he was raised in Italy and Germany. His parents were split too, so he had a funny accent. He took me to this place. There's commodities. You know what commodities is? Similar to stocks, the stock market. And I got involved in commodities. And I was trading commodities. So we went over there, and the reason it was so early is because it's 6 a.m. on the West Coast. It's 9 a.m. in New York, and that's when the New York Stock Exchange opens up. And so they started teaching me how to trade commodities and this kind of stuff. But you can make a ton of money one month and nothing the next few months. And my buddy, I ran into at a New Year's Eve party. He was in a suit too. None of my friends wore suits, right? And I didn't have my neck or hand tattooed then. I saw him in a suit. I was like, what are you doing? He says, I'm doing loans. I'm doing home loans for the housing market, At this time, it was really big in California. It was the loans were skyrocketing. So I didn't like how I was making a bunch, and then a little bit, next month it was scary. You're worried about rent and making money. So the loans, it was just constant money. I started doing this a lot. I got involved with the church, and this church moved from California to Texas. And my lifestyle in California was a little bit, in Hollywood, it's a fast-paced lifestyle, So I took this job and I took another job, a big, good job in a loan officer in Dallas. And 3 days after I got there, you guys heard when in 2007 the housing market crashed. And the first to go was the subprime industry, which means the people with bad credit scores. Option 1 Bank is who I was working for. It's the second largest company in the world for subprime industry. So I lost my job, and I just moved there. Just signed a new lease for my rent. Just got new cable, new everything. I just left everything in California. So I wanted to stay, and I was going through a real big religious trip in my head. I spent time in war and this kind of stuff, and it was good. It was good for me at that time to leave Hollywood. There's lots of drinking and partying and craziness. And someone right out of the military is not good. And so I didn't like the lifestyle of personal training. You work at 4 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock in the morning. Then you work one time at noon, and then you work 4 p.m. until 8 p.m. You work around people's schedule. Your sleep schedule is crazy. It's very exhausting having a spread out day. And so I figured, if I teach, instead of just, because I would teach individual kickboxing and individual jiu-jitsu a lot. It's private lessons in California a lot. I'd rather teach 20 people in 1 hour than I would 10 people throughout the day, And so I called up my old coach and said, "Can I start a school under your name?" I was still a brown belt at that time. He said, "Yes." And I taught Israeli Krav Maga, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, MMA, Thai boxing, And so that's how I started teaching in Texas, and then it's just grown and grown and grown and grown. And now I have international affiliates. I just opened another affiliate in Italy. I've been coming to Sweden for 4 years now. Got guys from Loganville, Georgia, Norman, Oklahoma, Raleigh, North Carolina. Guys that are friends with me. They train with me. They like my style, and a lot of it is our friendship and my superior knowledge too. And it's just grown and grown. And now I have several iPhone applications on the iPhone that you can look at, 2 on the Android market. I have 150 plus videos on brandonquick.com that are free. You can go on there. It's online training for free. I give back a lot to the community that way, And me and a partner of mine, who's a blue belt of mine named Chris Carlino, we own the American Grappling Federation, and we run tournaments every month in a different city. So it's another part of my business is running the tournaments. Yeah, and there's a book that I read a long time ago. My mother told me to read. It's called Rich Dad Poor Dad. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. And it speaks about multiple streams of income. And after being in the military, I never wanted to work for anyone else again, because maybe he's been in 2 years longer than me. He can be a complete and utter idiot that I have to listen to him because he's been in 2 longer than me. And I didn't like the regular jobs, so I decided I'd never work for someone else again. I'd always be on my own. You always control of your own money, control of your own destiny. That's why I'm in business for myself.